Trying to turn the music down, not off. Made my first mistake already. I told you, I get nervous when people are really special to me. I'm going to drop this candle down and it's going to work. It worked. Now I'm just going to bless this with incense. Clear the energies and open up the circle to invite Tracey's guides, angels, guardians, anyone who has got a positive influence on her and the reading. I dispel all negative reading, all negativity. I dispel all parasites that may cling and try to step through the circle. They're now binded and banished, and the circle is closed around me as the people step through. And we will start the tarot reading. I'm going to start with a pendulum reading, actually. I've been playing with this all day, Tracey, and I feel that this will help clarify whether you've done the right thing. And that's what I'm going to concentrate just on your one question. Have I done the right thing about telling John to go away and to leave you alone? Because, as you saw, for the last 2 days, you've been mentally anguished over various things. And as the pendulum starts, he's already saying yes, darling. But I'm going to tell it to stop and channel the divine energies in the highest possible light for you. And say, pendulum, dear pendulum, working for me in the highest possible light. Did Tracey make the right decision today by banishing John from her life? Yes or no, please. Now, yes is the direction it's going in. Clockwise is yes, and anti-clockwise is no. So yes, you have made the right decision. So no, be rest assured that that was one example of it. And I'm going to refer to the pendulum during the reading if I get any misinterpretations or if anything comes and hits at me. Because I hate to tell you this, I'm a bit tired. As you probably know, you're probably a bit tired too. I don't know if you're going to be able to watch this all tonight because it normally goes for about half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour. And now I'll prepare the deck. We'll start off with a simple thing called the hidden self or the subconscious card. I always start off with a hidden card, one that you would normally not pick for yourself, one that just jumps out at me and says, yes, this is what's in her subconsciousness, this is what has to be cleared, healed, or embraced, whatever it may be. I'm opening up the deck now. I'm letting all that positive energy come inside me. I'm just going to bless the deck because I've been using it a lot today. I just bless myself and blow it your way. I'll be consulting Goliath as well on this tarot reading. I feel his energies through me, within me. We are one as we read your cards. And if you know who Goliath was, it was that guy. When I got on my freaking wall all the time, like, you know, on my, to look at. He's my poster boy. And I'm just going to take the cards out. I know this plastic in this box is not the best. He actually described it in one of his videos that he chose the plastic box because he wanted something for it to be contained in, and the plastic was the, you know, most volatile option. I'm going to keep mine in the box, I think. I've always had tarot cards in a cloth that I made, but I love the box so much that I'm going to keep it. Now I'm just going to have to change views. Now I don't know how to do this because my phone's charging, so it's going to be a close-up of me, which it shouldn't be. I'm going to have to change views and put the phone down so I can shuffle the deck and find out your hidden card. The phone dropped, sorry. It's not very stable with the charger. I might try and do this actually. Sorry about this. But you know, this gives people time to prepare to contact me so I can channel them. Oh, whoa, don't do that. Don't do what I'm doing. It didn't work. Anyway, I'll just place that down. Stop the video and I'll restart it. Hello Tracy. So that I'm not made up, I normally put makeup on and everything like that, but it's been a very long day. This music is actually ancient Egyptian. I don't know if you studied Egypt, but it's something that I think would call to you. Same with the shaman beliefs. The Egyptians had wrote a book, Thoth did. He was the scribe, the magician. He was everything to them. He wrote a book about the dweller, and it was called the Emerald Tablets. Something I think you'd be interested in. But anyway, that's a bit of trivia for you. Now, I'm going to pick your hidden aspect, or your hidden subconscious thing. Oh, see, when I do that, and things like that happen, I can't ignore it. So I'm going to put this back in and gently take this card out. And I'm going to flip it. Now, unbeknown to you, hidden in your subconscious is a knight in shining armor. And I'll just flip the phone around so you don't see me. And you just will hear me. And I'm going to turn the music off for a little while so you can only concentrate on me and I can hear what's around me a lot better. As you can see here, we've got the Knight of Swords. And it's the hooded brother. This figure in here is surrounded by meerkats. He is literally got his whole body erect. He is looking with eyes on the back of his head. He's looking at eyes in front of him. He's watching. He's got a crowd around him. And it's all about the battlement of thoughts. It's all about mastering your thoughts. Because swords actually means thought waves. Wands can mean feelings and creativity. Swords are like the mental anguish we've been in. And the meerkats that I see all around, their eyes are glowing. They're in rapture of this state. But they're not scared of him. He's not threatening them, even though his pose seems to be threatening. He could be dancing to music. One day I saw this vision of all these snakes literally sliding across the desert sand, and they were doing it in a wiggle, like a dance. And it was the most beautiful sight that I've never ever forgotten that vision. I never knew what it meant. And there was one flower, the lone flower in this whole desert that they just crossed over, and then the vision faded out. Snakes are very important. There's this knight of shining armor who's going to come into your life. And I know you're probably a bit jaded. I think there's no light knight and shining either. But he's more like a brother type, so don't worry. It's got nothing to do with romance. But he's got a message for you. And the message has to do with that mental anguish that you suffer constantly by all the dramas that have happened in your life. And this knight in shining armor is just to say, keep your eyes open. Don't close them. Don't close yourself off to people. Don't give up. Because there's a lot of people out there that love and care for you and honestly worry about you sometimes, because you shut off your emotions. Even though you're quite open with what you think, there's hidden parts of you that nobody knows. It's buried deep, deep down. And one day that bubble is going to burst and you're going to find yourself in a lot of mental anguish. And this person that's coming into your life, this hidden knight, is also a representative of what you need to draw in with yourself. Because he's got his eyes open everywhere. He's looking from the back of him. He's looking in the front of him. Even the meerkats are there, his eyes, if you know what I mean. They're in rapture with what he's going to say. You'll have an audience with him. You'll be able to talk to him. And somehow this Knight of Swords, as I said, he's more like a brother to you, will help you not only re-establish your life, but take care of a lot of your problems. I'm not saying he's going to give you and hand you money or anything like that. He's just going to point you in the right direction of where to go next. Because right now you've just spent, I don't know how many months or years on John, and you finally said, that's it, I've had enough, I've been through enough, this is ridiculous, why am I putting myself through this? That is the question he'll probably propose to you. Why are you putting yourself through this? I had to do the same thing today myself. I was getting abused by one of the girls on Facebook. And I thought, why am I putting myself through this? Just say goodbye to her and just fuck her off. You know? And I think with the pendulum also saying this, I think you made the right decision today, because you are going to have the most beautiful life soon. But all you have to do is change your mental thinking. And I know that's hard because of what you've been through. And I know it's hard for myself with what I've been through to change my mental thinking. But swords have a way of digging into you. But this is saying that you're mastering your thoughts. This is saying that you're mastering everything about yourself, but you just haven't implemented it into your life. You're going to make big decisions over the next 3 weeks, or 3 days to 3 weeks. In 3 days, I wouldn't be surprised if you have some good news that's going to set your heart on fire and get you back motivated. You won't not only have gotten your mojo back, but you would have been able to put something at rest that you haven't been able to put at rest. And it has to do with the men in your life. You're going to start attracting something different to yourself. You're going to start attracting something beautiful to yourself, because you're going to find yourself beautiful again. And it's all because of this meerkat and the rapture of his following and the rapture they have for you. Now, I'm going to just consult Goliath on this, because I just took my own interpretation while I throw the book in the bin and drop my iPad. He's got a very different perceptive to me to his cards. I don't know much about meerkats other than what I studied in the documentary, but they're very community orientated. And the snake is such a lone creature that the fact that they're here in a gathering and the meerkats are not scared of the snake but worshipping him is something that you need in your life. You need to be worshipped by someone, and I'm hoping that someone is walking into your life now. You also got to have your eyes open. You are a very spiritual, beautiful person that needs to open up her heart again, even no matter how hard it is, and maybe listen to what someone else's advice is, and maybe not be so hard-headed about going about things, but know that you made the right decision today because it is stepping forward. It is really stepping forward. Don't be bitter about it. Don't let it make you cry. Just be strong in yourself. And that's what the Swords is actually telling you. You've mastered the fucking beginning of your mental anguish. You've gotten through the middle, and now you're right at the end. So in the next 3 days to 3 weeks to 3 months, you'll notice a drastic change in your attitude. You're going to be freer because you're not tied to someone that is pulling you down with their narcissistic behavior. And unfortunately, you had a lot of narcissism in your life like me, and it's really hard to get over. And you're stronger than me, so I guarantee that the next few months is going to be blissful. Not only that, the snake represents spirit to me. Snake is something that's inside you. It's sexual desire too. I mean, you have got a lot of sexuality in you, but you haven't been able to express it right because of the rape, the torture, the mental torture that you've been through. All that sort of stuff is going to wipe away. You're going to see a new, different life to yourself. Now, I'm just going to consult Goliath. I could consult him, you know, verbally, like channel him, but I'm not that game yet, which is funny enough, me. If you look at this card, look at the beauty of it. It's the hooded brother. It's someone like you see as a brother. It could even be your son, you know, because I always say knights are between the age of anywhere between 24 and 54, and kings overlap that at maybe 34 to above, and pages are always young children. And these are like a representative of your spirit rising above everything, and the children looking at you with the awe they always look you with, but you actually feeling it in your heart for a change. Now, I just found that fucking page, and I've lost it again. Excuse my language. I found it again. I think you got this before. I'm not sure. It's basically about getting power into yourself. It's like there's been a lot of aggression around you, and you got to let go of that. It's very speedy. That's why I said it's probably going to happen in the next 3 days to 3 weeks rather than 3 months to 3 years. For me, everything happens in threes. I'm sure everyone believes in the threes. Some things happen in fives for me, and they're really mastery what it is. You got to charge forward. You got to, you know, realize that you had a lot of forceful energy around you, and you got to dispel and banish that. There's been so many arguments, so much self-defensiveness about what you've been going through with your children, with John, with your past, with everyone really. And you've always felt that even though you don't believe in judgment, people have been judging you a bit. And what you got to do is let go of that and master the mental anguish that you've been suffering. And that's hard. I don't like seeing people upset or crying or bewildered about what happened to their life. I like to help them move past that. And I just want to say, you're going to get someone that's going to help you this. A brother-like energy that will put his arms around you and say, it's okay. You'll have a big cry with them. And then you just go, oh my God, it's gone. All that pressure on my back, my shoulders. Because if you've got very sore shoulders, that is a lot of people sitting on your shoulder. And you shouldn't be responsible for any of these other fuckers. You should be responsible for yourself only. And your children, your precious jewels. And I feel that you're going to get there real soon. Like, I honestly would not be surprised in 3 days to 3 weeks if you have the most fantastic news. I'm not saying your children are going to be put back in your hands right now, but you're going to hear some fantastic news that takes a lot of burden, but you have to make that change. Maybe one of it's got to do with contacting that lawyer that Ginger said, or maybe it's got to do with the financial burden you have. Maybe you're going to have not a windfall or inheritance of money or something, but you're going to find the solution to all your problems, and it's going to happen very soon. I can feel it coming in. Like before, when I first started the reading, the room was heavy and dark and angry because of what happened to you, and now I'm feeling the cool breeze and the subtle changes. I'm feeling like autumn and spring are happening, and I'm rebirthing whatever I sowed, and that's the position I think you're in. All right, you're going to find yourself full of life and energy. Again, you'll see in the next 3 days you feel really tired and exhausted now, but that's all that mental anguish. Send it to the meerkats. The meerkats are plentiful. They like digging underground. They'll bury it. Send it to the snake to put his venom in it. Or maybe that's the problem. Maybe there's too much venom around you. Maybe you're going to have a lot more love and light and more sunshine and moonbeams. Maybe you need happiness rather than this oppressive aggression that's been around you for years. And the only way to do that is to make changes. Only you can decide what changes are right. I can touch upon it, but it's time to get really into your spirit and get rid of that heartache. It's right at the front still. Push it to the back and release it. Imagine this black ooze coming out of your heart and literally just spelling it everywhere. That's the only thing I can suggest for the moment. This energy helps cut through confusion and the haze of the mind. You're being sort of a bit hazy in your mind lately, a bit confused about where you stand with people, where you stand in life, where you stand with yourself. And I don't know what else you could possibly do that, what you haven't done already. But there's got to be something, and you're bored. You're bored out of your mind. And I feel like this knight, this brother that's coming towards you, is going to help shift that boredom into something productive. I always say boredom stems from too many ideas and creative intentions that are never fulfilled. And you procrastinate, and it builds and builds, and your to-do list becomes so huge that you think, oh, I can't be fucked doing this. Give me something new to do. And then you add to it again. And then you think about, what are all my dreams? Have you actually sat there and thought about what dreams you had as a child? No, you didn't get a chance because you were looking after someone. You were the nurturer. Well, now it's time for you to get nurtured. And I think we're going to see that in the reading. This is all the hidden stuff that you don't tell people about, the burdens that you have on them. You always got a smile on your face. You're always willing to help someone. But now it's time for them people to gather around you and become a community around you and help you. Accept the help graciously, even though it shits you immensely because you want to do it yourself, or you might have a certain way you want to do things. But just accept it for now, because you need to lay a lot of old past to rest. This is another thing that the brother is. He's very frank and domineering. He calls it how it sees it, and that's very much like you. You could be getting in tune with your shadow self here, or your inner masculine self here, and learning that even though you got the grit and the determination and such, and you have to not let yourself be domineered by others. I mean, you stand up for yourself, don't get me wrong, I know that, but sometimes people, because of your niceness, overtake that and abuse it, and you're going to have to put your boundaries up. It could mean a few debates, intellectual and sometimes sarcastic, acts with total certainty. So that's something you need to do, is not be so hesitant with your decisions. You are doing the right thing. I know when I lost my children, I was so insane and so lost. I didn't know what to do with myself. All my dreams and goals and everything went out the window. And all I could think about was the determination to get them back in my arms, back in next to me, practically put them back in my womb if I could. But I couldn't do that, obviously, because they already came out. But I try. And like my daughter used to try and get in my stomach all the time to go back in because she hated the world and the world we were living in. Unfortunately, this is also a critical card. Things tend to get a bit critical in it. There's a lot of strong-willed, and you needed that strong will to rise above your situation. There's a lot of passion in it. As you can see, it's like he's speaking to the crowd. You're going to have to speak up to the crowd, to the judge, to your family, and say, this is how I've been treated. And we'll just shove it all under the rug. No, we won't. We're going to let go of it. And this is what's going to change. And you're going to have to be the one that stands up and makes the change. But I've got a feeling that there's a brother around you. Not literally a brother, but a brother-like character. A brother-like friend. Who's going to be there for you and actually help you make that stand up to all those that pushed you down and sit on your shoulders and burden you with their shit. Even me. Anyway, don't be too selfless. Don't be too complacent or erratic or brash behaviour. Jumpy in mind. You need to recenter and focus. Some people are pushy and give orders, and you're not one of them, but you've got to learn to have a bit of that inside you. You don't have to be pushing and give orders to everyone, but you have to make those boundaries I was talking about before. Sometimes you'll find that you're cut off midway between talking and you feel like no one's really listening to what you have to say. Well, then you're going to have to grab their attention and say, look, it's very important that you listen to me right now because I'm only going to say it once. And when you ask me again, I'm never going to say it again because I told you once before and you weren't listening when I needed you to. You're going to have to say something like that to a lot of your friends and family just so that they listen to you and stop treating you like you are not competent enough in your life to handle what's going on. Because I know you can handle it. You know you can handle it. But unfortunately, the people that have surrounded you in the past have basically overburdened you and have pushed you to this point where you just can't be bothered anymore. Right? You need to be bothered. You need to have a passion. You need to go forward. You need a little bit of change in your life so that you can look up at the horizon and go, yay, that sunset was beautiful tonight. And yay, I love life. And at the moment, I know you love life. I know you appreciate everything that is good in your life. But there's too much negativity around you. And I think you're going to have to let go of a lot of shit around that. Something like Petra saying, you know, it was so good and blah, 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 blah. I've heard both sides of the story now. Well, not both sides of the stories from you, but just from general conversations through your friends. And I honestly think you've done the right thing just to bless him. So I'm not going to say ill will against him. I'm the same about Tim. And say, let it go. Petra shouldn't, you know, say every time she sees you, but Al's this, but Al's that. I mean, she's another one that has to let go and stop clinging to what was past and move forward so she can open up doors. And that's what you need to do. Subconsciously, you're ready, but you just have been fighting for your life and your rights to be happy for so long. And I know what it's like to say, roll over in the bed and just go, yeah, fuck it, whatever happens, happens. But you can not control it, but help shape your destiny and bear better fruit for your life. I mean, you've got to wrap your audience around you. All you got to do is find the right words to say. Anyway, that's all was hidden. So let's go back to the main reading. And I'm only going to do 4 cards today, sorry. Only because I know how long I talk about one card for. And 2, I don't want to head fuck you too much. And this is just meant to be a starter reading because the last reading I did for you, I wasn't in the right state of mind myself. And today I've been working steadily on my spiritual self, so I feel like I'm prepared to give you the best that I can. But what I was trying to say is you got to learn to put those boundaries up, girl. I know you've got boundaries up. I know you stick up for yourself. But sometimes actions or words are not enough. Sometimes you have to let go of the very people you held closely to you because you needed that normalcy, and let go of it and try something new. Anyway, I'm going to have to, again, swip the cards around while I shuffle the deck. So just hold on a minute. I meant flip the video around. I'm not doing too well, am I? Anyway, I'm shuffling. Every day I'm shuffling. Oops. See, these cards really bug me when they do that. Because these cards like to jump out and make a statement. They like to grab your attention and say, hey, babe, we're going to live the high life. Maybe you know that idea of getting a caravan and going around Australia instead of Tasmania, or something really good for you and the kids. Maybe that's something you have to think about. Or maybe you just go around Victoria, or go for a holiday somewhere, not like Tasmania where you meet a man and have more dramas. But go for a holiday as a single woman that is ready, that when she comes back from the holiday, she's refreshed, she's rejuvenated, she's ready for her bed and whatever lay in it, and she's ready for a new life. And that's what you got to look at. I know it's hard because like you've got some things you can't let go of, like your children. You never let go of them. Some things you can't let go with certain friends or family. But you got to learn that all that shit you talk about, you somehow got to wipe it from your brain and not think about it anymore. Because all it's doing is eating your heart out. Because you're saying, I'm a good person, so why is this happening to me? I know. Because I used to say the same thing when I was raped and tortured. Why is this happening to me? Why am I allowing it? I used to say to myself, why can't I stop it from happening? Well, I couldn't stop it. But that's not my fault. That's because they never stopped their actions. But I certainly stopped the way I responded to them. And moving in here has helped that. And I think a change is what you need. You need to get outside a bit more, not just going for walks and missions and stuff like that, but maybe pot around your garden, or maybe just sit out there for a while and look at it and say, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, write a list. So, yeah, I'll do that later after my holiday. But right now I'm going to enjoy the mess it is because my life pretty much feels the same. Excuse me. I read a book where I said, in the Princess book, and I said, you got to clean up your own backyard, your own mistakes, before you can even think about what anyone else has done to you. And I did that for a long time. I would question every action, every fucking thought I had. And the next thing you know, I was in mental anguish, and I couldn't be that snake standing up proudly in front of the crowd, speaking my mind. I should shimmer. I think you notice it whenever I get unnerved about certain people. I shriggle and I sit like this and I just go, don't look at me. Well, you're not that type, but you're going to end up shriveling into a ball inside. And if you don't acknowledge the pain and anguish, and when I realised I hadn't hugged my son for years because I wasn't allowed to, I screamed on top of my lungs. I finally let go of everything. I ended up in a mental ward because I lived with my parents. I'm sure if I lived anywhere else or lived alone, I could have screamed like that and been fine the next day. Because I was fine once I screamed. It was just like, ah! You know, and maybe that's what you're going to do. Go for a drive somewhere with someone you trust. Go up to the mountain like sky high. Get on the edge. Don't jump over it. Or go to a maze. Or go somewhere where it echoes. And just scream it all out. It works. It's better than crying, man. Scream all that aggression that they put inside you. Scream all that things out. You don't have to scream at them. Just scream it all out. It's better than the best medicine I ever did was scream that last scream that I had. And I still got more inside me, but I got cut off, so I couldn't do it. But you just go somewhere secluded and you just go, ah! And then the next thing you do is you say wa, W-A. Wa in Japanese means harmony. And as long as you've got harmony in your body and your soul and your mind and your spirit, you can function and get through anything. And when I'm really frustrated or very angry, I just go, all right, instead of throwing punches or throwing words, I'm just going to go, wah! And then I go, wah! And I go, wah! And all of a sudden I go, oh, wah! I'm feeling better. And I can feel the energy of all that burden and that pain in the back of your neck just releasing itself. I actually thought the other day when I was going to give you a massage, there's no point because all the burdens are still there. There's no point in trying to release those burdens from your physical body until you release it from your mental body first. Anyway, I'm going to nearly be finished shuffling the deck because that was like 5 minutes of talking and shuffling the deck that I didn't realise. Oh, that card just keeps flipping out. So I'm going to take it out and make that your first card. Now, I'm going to turn the view around. I've only got a small table to work with today because I normally work on my bed, but I have to change my sheets and shit first. I know, I'm procrastinating. I do that a lot. I got so many things in my mind that I want to do that I rarely get anything done, or I feel like I haven't accomplished anything. And you might feel like that too. Another thing I want to suggest to you is you got to find something to release this. And I really want to say to you, I tell you, every client, every tarot reading, every healing I've done, I want you to buy an exercise book, pack of glitter pens, whatever you want, anything fancy, colourful, or not colourful, blue, black, I don't care what pens you buy. And I want you to just write journal, my thoughts. And every day, 10 minutes. And 10 minutes is nothing to us. We waste a lot of time sometimes, us girls, you know. We're doing our hair and our makeup and all that sort of stuff. But to tell you the truth, 10 minutes is nothing. Just write 10 minutes. And the first entry, I want you to write 10 things you want to 4 things you want to let go of, 4 things you want to keep, 4 things you want to bring in, and 4 things you're grateful for. That's the only exercise I'll give you. The rest is all your thoughts. Purge that mind of yours. I have to do it myself. I started doing it the other day, writing a bit my thoughts, but I haven't purged myself. I haven't done that scream that I told you to do. And as I said, every reading I do, I get an insight by someone else. Without further ado, I'm going to split the deck. I had this thing in my last reading I was doing that everyone chooses the right side. I always say, go for the left, go for the left. In my mind, I don't influence people, but they always choose the right side. The left side, sorry, of the deck, like the left one to me. And I'm like, no, choose the other one, please. And they don't. And so they miss out on a lot of information because they've made the wrong choice already, because they're already stuck in the wrong thing. But I'm not going to get you to choose the deck today. I'm going to choose for you.
Okay, we've got the 2 sides. I'm going to use my power hand, which is my left hand. It's all charged up. I'm getting a bit of tingling in the middle of my hand. There's something interesting here. But I'm also getting a headache. And when I put my hand on this side, what do I get? A lot of negativity. So I am going to go against my rule of always choosing the right side instead of the left. Because lately a lot of readings I'm doing, they would have been better off if they chose the right side, because I basically told them what they already knew. And they didn't find anything new, so they probably thought, what great tarot reader you are, you can't even tell me anything new. But they found things that, they found it very interesting anyway. I'm going to spread the deck just slightly, because I haven't got much room. Just enough to fan it out a bit. And again, with my left hand, I'm going to just pick 3 more cards. Oh. That one. That one. Ooh, that one. Oh, something just fell over there. And not that one. Oh, that was my tarot cards dropping. I'm going to choose that one. So that was 3. One more. Can't count. I'm just going to get those ones that dropped on the floor and put them back in the pile just in case they're important to the reading. I don't think they are. They dropped away rather than to me. I feel like it's that one. Hidden but revealed. Alright. I fucking love tarot cards. I love the smell of them. I love the feel of them. I love the artistry. I have not loved a deck as much as I love this one. I gotta admit. The other one I had for 15 years, and I thought I'd never ever change my deck. I thought I was actually going to buy a new version of it. If it wasn't for the guy I started and his amazing, amazing artwork and deck, I don't think I would have comprehended how deep I could go into my subconscious and my shadow self. And I think this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a lot of demons on your shoulders that are created by other people that are inflicting on you. And you're taking it on board yourself and blaming yourself for things. And I know you don't really blame yourself, but you're thinking like, yeah, why is this all fucking happening at once? What did I do wrong? You know, where did I go wrong?
Yeah. What was it that set all this off? And we never know what it sets it all off, but it's normally a do-gooder or someone who is interfering in your life, wants to take away your life from you or your rights from you. And you've got to struggle and not let that happen, girl. Because the way I saw you the last 2 days, I've been very, very concerned as a friend, and I didn't want to interfere or anything like that, but it's great that you came to me for a tarot reading because I was going to suggest it to you. I just didn't know when. But anyway, without further ado, to the cards. Now, the first card we got is Two of Wands. Lightning has struck the antenna. And antenna? Yeah. It's obviously deer's antennas here. Now, deers are very, very gentle. Could be actually, it's not swords, they're wands. But they remind me of deer's antennas. Now, deers are very gentle. When a deer enters your life, you're at a spiritual crossing where you can keep going the way you are, or you could choose the dark path. And by the dark path, I don't mean bad or negative. I mean, it's like a representation of chaos. Chaos is good. Chaos is before creation, and we get creation stems from chaos. Chaos is all that muck that, you know, shuffles it and shuffles everything aside, pops it to creation, says, this is the tools and you got to work with it. So you got to learn to work with the tools that you've got. You've got to learn to embrace your creativity, which is what you're not doing, and your femininity. You are sometimes embracing your femininity by, you know, dressing up and doing your hair, but that's all ritual for you. That gets you through the day. And I think when you embrace your femininity, I want you to be honest with yourself and say, I'm really doing myself over by the men I choose. I have to do the same thing. Like, you know, I constantly chose the wrong men, or I saw things in people that weren't there, just basically because it was inside myself. And I basically gifted them what was inside myself. And I was left with all the rubbish that they chucked at me. And you've got to learn to literally let all that go. You got to let creativity strike with you. You got to find a hobby or something to do with your hands. You've got to find something to stimulate your mind. You've got to find something that you can mold and maybe create something of it, so you're not so listless and so restless and wandering around. What do I do now? I haven't got my kids. Let's not focus. The kids are given. You love them. They're yours. They're always going to be yours. Let's say, for example, you get them back. You're still going to feel this listlessness and this restlessness in you because you're not getting anything creatively out. It's why your stomach's so sometimes, because the more a woman expresses the creativity, I mean, you think about it, we create babies, so we're always creating. That's what women represent, you know, the ability to create in our womb another life. Well, you've got to find something other than children to create in your womb. You got to find an outlet. Like, you had your chefing before. I'm sure it's not something you wanted to do, but it's something you fell into. So you got to go back in your subconscious, get yourself into a little ball and say, well, before I was 9 and looking after my sister and all that sort of stuff, I had dreams. At 14, I had a dream of being this. And most girls have been a ballerina. I never wanted to be a ballerina, but most girls are. I'm joking about that, by the way. But I'm just going to say you have to dance with your mind and your ability to create. So find something that you can do with your hands, is what I'm saying. Like, I do crosswork, I do cross stitch and sewing when I'm really anguished and I just cannot speak to anyone and I cannot function. I do my art to release the pain, but my cross stitch and my stitching is me weaving dreams, weaving goals. I'm thinking about things. I don't want to be disturbed when I'm doing that. I don't mind sitting around talking to people and stuff like that and doing it, but most of the time I do it by myself. And I'm literally, every stitch I make is stitching my life back together and is stitching or weaving a web of dreams. And it's really funny, I put dream here. I didn't have that one here before. I just changed it. Now with the lightning, as I say, when lightning strikes, you're either dead or you got special abilities, and you have got special abilities that you can utilize in any way. Think about the dreams you had. Think about the goals you had, and you're gonna have to follow them. And they're not allowed to be about the children. They're not allowed to be about a man. They've got to be about you. Something for yourself. So I want you to think about that and write about that. That's another task that you've got to do in your journal, to really go into your inner child and explore it much deeper. Now, of course, Goliath, the creator of the deck, he's probably got something profound to say about this as well. So I'm going to consult him again, which is me just consulting the book, because I don't feel up to channeling anyone today. But I usually do channel when I'm doing this. Now, 2. 2 is adding. See, we've got 1, the individual. Then we've got 2, we add to something. So you got to add to your life, not subtract, but add positive creativity, positive people to your life. You cannot go through the same drama, the same conversation every fucking night. I'd get sick of it. I just eventually just go, I'm not talking about this anymore. So let's talk about you. Yeah, because I don't want to talk about my problems all the time. You don't want to talk about all your problems all the time, unless it helps you. It's not helping you, darling. You're bringing up, drudging up all that shit and making yourself sicker and sicker in your stomach and not letting the creative juices. You have to get your mind on something else. Not men, not children, but you. You have to focus on you and add to your life. You never know. Once you've added something about you to your life, once you release all this from your subconscious and your conscious, once you step over and say, oh, it's finally gone, I can breathe, I'm happy, I feel centered, I'm in harmony inside myself, that's when you add the man. That's when you say, I always said to my children, you know, if mummy's not happy, you're not going to be happy. I'm telling you. You will be miserable if I'm not happy. You could be happy because you had a happy day at school. You come home, see me miserable. I can guarantee you everyone will be miserable afterwards. And yeah, it really did work. Now, you got to express your personal power, Goliath is saying. You've got to have a stroke of genius. You got to have that ding light bulb effect. And that's what the lightning's for. I mean, lightning is energy. It's pure, unadulterated, creating energy. It can start a fire. It can give you special abilities. It can kill you. But basically, it's the sky's way of telling us, hey, stand up, listen to that thunder, watch the lightning, watch the storm, because after the storm, there's going to be sunshine and a rainbow. Does that make sense? It might not seem like that now. You got to set an achievement in motion. It's like having an amazing idea all of a sudden. This is what this card brings to you. Getting the ball rolling, charging yourself with energy to move forward. That's what you need. Call upon lightning yourself. Every time there's a storm, I sit there and call the storm to me, to the point that even if the thunder's far away, by the time I finish calling the storm, it is rattling my windows and it is bellowing right after a second the lightning hit. You know, I stand inside of storms. I literally get out of my car. I literally get out of my house. My daughter brought it up the other day that on New Year's Eve she was really sick, and I was out in the rain, in the storm, just dancing away like a divish. And I've done it so many times when I'm stressed and I don't know where I'm going. I stand in the middle of the storm and I say, yeah, you hit me with all you got, but still, I might be wet. You didn't get me like lightning, but you gave me the energy to fucking fuel and cleanse my soul. You know, and that's what you need to do. Charge yourself to move forward and stop stepping backwards. The kids are guaranteed. You love them. They love you. They're going to come back in your life whenever. Don't harp on it. Just don't roll with their punches. Don't roll with their criticism or their applause of what you're doing now. You're not a child. You don't have to be told you're a good mother. That's given. Anyone who becomes a mother has got the right to be a good mother. There's nothing about being a good mother. Who gives a shit if you're a good mother? What's the word good mean to you, really? What you are is there for them when they need them, and you always are. And, you know, being through what I went through, I can understand what you're going through. I went through it, and I gave up. Don't you give up, right? I just gave up because it was 7 years, and I
I was exhausted by the end of it. In and out of hospitals, in and out of this, in and out, all these accusations of what I've done and what I haven't done. I thought afterwards, who am I? Am I really doing all this thing to people? What did I do wrong? You know, and I've got to stop saying, what did I do wrong? I did nothing wrong. It's those around me that inflicted this poison onto me that did wrong. And I've got to sit there, and this is what the business, the tarot readings, the reality show is, the selfies are for. This is all my time to create for myself. And as I said, I get something from every reading. But as you see, it's planning new ideas. It's understanding your abilities. It's reaching out to the world with both hands. Doing what no one else can do around you. Taking a different approach to things. Taking the bull directly by the horns and just kicking it in the fucking balls and saying, get out of my way. I'm charging forward and I'm going to pick my life up and I'm going to come back in all your lives and say, ha! I did it without ya. I'm happy and I don't need ya. Not your peasantism, not your fucking reharping on past all the time. I've moved forward. And that's what you got to do. This is what that creative outlet is giving you the opportunity to do. And that lightning charge is directly from Zeus. He is telling you, I am firing you up, girl. I'm putting a chastity belt on you. You're not thinking about men and you're just going to think about yourself. You're going to have fun. You're going to go on a holiday or something. And it's not going to be any suffering for you soon. And I feel that night also has got something to do with it. He's going to give you an idea or maybe refresh your memory of what the dreams you used to have before you had children. Because I know once I had children, my dreams stopped. I couldn't do anything for the first year. I was just concentrating on this bloody wee thing depending on me to feed it and change its nappy and dress it and bath it. Let alone the emotional upheaval that other people bring into your life. The next thing I want to point out with this card is to being able to follow through with your newfound ideas. Getting to call the shots and being the master of your own destiny. Holding on to strong value and influence on others. Seizing opportunities around you. You got to seize the day, girl. You got to look at that. And the great thing about this is the way as I saw, you know how the deers, some deers have got horns like this? I don't know. Deers. Or is it llamas that got horns like this? I don't know, but deers are very gentle and spiritual and actually, oh my God, I'm seeing a face in the card. Can you see that? He's just staring at me. Can you see that there? There's a little face. There's a person. Oh, it's gone now. It's that angle. Oh my God, there's a face again. Anyway, you got to see yourself with new eyes and have a creative outlet. And I can't be the one to tell you what the creative outlet. I can say you can do cross stitch with me, but that's going to probably bore you because you require a lot of patience to be able to do it. Yeah. I'm working on an A3 thing and it's taken me years because I just don't have the patience to do it every day. Now, what I'm also saying is you're unaware of your own personal worth. I mean, you know you're a good person, but you don't know how bloody brilliant you are. And I'm not kidding you. You saved more lives than mine. And it's about time you saved your own. It's to suggest that around you, you've been feeling unworthy. Not being able to express what you're communicating. Searching for a stroke of imagination and passion. Staying too long in one spot and not extending yourself to new potential life paths. And this is basically everything I've been saying. So Goliath and I were on the right path there. You got to get creative with everything. You've got to be creative in yourself. You got to take your life by the horns. The children are safe where they are. You know that. Maybe not as safe as they are with you. Maybe not as loved as they are with you. I want you to focus on them when you have to focus on them. But to make them happy, you've got to be happy. And you've got to find something to do with your thoughts. While you're processing and releasing those demons and those burdens that are on your shoulders, you really have to focus on something creative that you can do with your hands. And you'll find you'll get your mojo back. Once you've decided what that goal or that, a creative idea you're going to use is going to do. Even if it's like Pam, she does like those pots and paints them and stuff like that. Anything, as long as it's with your hands. You have to create with your hands. It's no use just being a writer or a poet or a songwriter or writing poetry or anything like that. That's not going to help you. That's just going to depress you, because it's all going to be melancholy, depressive, and all that sort of shit with all that mental anguish that we see that, you know, Mr. Knight is trying to protect you from. You're going to have to, like, do something physical with your hands, whether it's sewing, drawing, woodwork, whatever it is. And you also got to get in touch with your inner child. Anyway, without further ado, we'll go to the next card. By the way, I don't read negative cards. I don't read cards in reverse. I'll actually turn the reverse around and say, sorry, there's no negative in my readings. I refuse to be the one that says, I'm so sorry, but you're going to die in 6 months' time. Even if I know if someone's going to die, which I don't always do, or even I know someone's going to be pregnant, I just say, be aware if you don't want to get pregnant. I wouldn't have sex in these periods, or wear condoms because I see a little orb around you or whatever. I'm not saying that for you, don't worry. I'm just saying it as an example. I don't like to put things in people's face and control their destiny by my words. I'm only guidance. I'm only giving you the insights that you already know inside yourself, but you just haven't been able to listen to that self because of all the screaming you've got in your head. Don't forget, you got to climb up those stairs and scream up the top of that mountain. Now, the Eight of Cups is saying, honey, with the Two of Wands, with this new creative burst, you'll be able to have that total experience of emotions. Because 8 is totality, and it basically means you're having the total experience of this cycle of your emotions. And within that, it's called the high door. So now this is like you literally burying all that past shit, saying, I don't need the emotion of aggression. I don't need this shit. I'm dumping you and I'm climbing up to that cosmic enlightenment and I'm getting back to my spiritual self and I am learning more about myself. I'm going to learn more about myself every day. I'm going to find a way to attune to my higher consciousness. It's time for basically a spiritual journey. This couldn't come at the most appropriate time for you. I'm so glad this showed up in the reading, because you are going to it gives me reassurance that most of what I've said already you're going to do. You just need that push to do it. Be like a Black Panther, man. They're full of occult power and inner knowledge. You've got a lot of knowledge inside yourself. Instead of dwelling on the bad stuff, dwell on that inner knowledge, that glow that you used to have when you thought of spirituality, when you thought of the deity, oh my God, I can't even speak now. The divinities that you might, or the entities you might worship. Think about not a religion, but a spiritual way of life. I don't know, go to an occult shop and buy a book that you would normally not buy for yourself, but read it. Or read bits of it, whatever attunes to yourself. Learn to close the door on past, finally, because the more you cling to those sort of people, the more you're going to attract them. And I literally had to shut the door on everything and everyone. And I actually said, even my children, this time when I moved in here, I said, I wrote a note to myself. You know how I said to you, I talked to myself on all my different characters with all my different Facebooks? Well, I wrote a note to myself. I think it's time to shut the door, even let go of the children for a while, and really concentrate on yourself, because you're not happy. No matter which way you turn, you got your dreams, you got your goals, you keep going back to the same things. You obviously want to do it. Well, get up there and fucking do it. Don't, I mean, I had a bit of a setback when I first moved in here, but I just recovered from trauma, I was recovering from trauma and getting out of that cycle. But then I thought to myself, I really have to let go of my children. I have to let go of everyone I used to know and embrace everyone who comes new in my life. Anyone that reminds me of the negative people I used to know, I'm just going to close my door down. Doesn't mean I'm going to be rude to them or anything. It just means I'm going to close that door down. And you've got to do the same. You've got to climb up to a higher consciousness. I'm also seeing my affirmation card, raise that consciousness of yours. So if I can find a book that I think you should read, I think you should. I also think you should start dream weaving and Dream weaving is more a crafty sort of thing, like I do. I use sewing for my dream weaving. Dream more dreams. Dream more positive things into your life. Open your mind to things that are okay the way they are. It's not the most ideal situation. It's the most painful situation you're ever going to go through, having your babies ripped apart from you and having all that, you know, kicked in the cunt and all that sort of stuff. Some of your stories is just put my mind to shame. I just don't understand people. And you got to let go of all that. You got to stop thinking about it. I've got to stop thinking about it and bringing it up. And you've got to move forward and shift your consciousness to a higher consciousness. Like I said to Pam yesterday, you're going to start seeing 1111, 122, and all that stuff. And I'm sure you've seen them before. But you've got to reopen that door. I've got a blog on opening your heart center. And when I opened my heart center, this is not a chakra. This is your heart center that stores all the past lives, your spirit, everything. I opened the door to that. And it was the most painful experience I ever went through because I suppress a lot. I don't cry, I suppress, and then all of a sudden I blow up. I felt like I was having a heart attack for 3 months. I thought I was dying of a heart attack. I thought, I'm only fucking 35. Why the fuck am I having a heart attack? Or 36 or whatever age I was. I said, why am I having a heart attack? Yeah, I drink too much. Is it the alcohol? Is it this? Is it this? I was in that much pain. And then one of my guides slowly nudged me and said, didn't you open your heart center? And didn't I tell you it would be painful, like physically painful? And he was right. He was very fucking right. And it was the worst pain I ever went through. So if you're interested, I can give you that blog that teaches you. All you need is a bath, a rose quartz, or some sort of crystal, some salts, and a lot of fucking meditation. I walk you through it in the blog. But if you're interested in that, I'll print it out for you and give it to you. You just have to let me know after the reading. So take your time to think about it because it is a painful process. But if you're letting go of all of that burden and getting new creative ideas and moving forward, you'll be all for it. Opening your heart center and getting it all done with at once. And I'm telling you, it feels like you're going through heart because your heart is just releasing all that pain that you stored up in your core beliefs, in your root chakra. It actually awakens all your chakras and opens it, and the blockages just get blown away. 3 months down, after 3 months, the heart attack stopped. It got to the point that if someone broke my heart, I felt it straight away. If someone gladdened my heart, it was like my heart was crying in happiness. It was the most amazing feeling I ever felt. And I actually have to do that ritual again myself. I might do the bath thing because the bath thing is submerging yourself in spirit. The crystals, your guides. A bit of incense to clear the way and get rid of negative energy. The sea salts is to help you ground so that you're not floating up in heaven and forgetting about us all, but you're coming down to earth with this new energy, this new vibrancy. So if you're interested in doing that, I really strongly suggest it. But when I look at this card, I know you're going on a cosmic journey. I know that you're going to be meeting more people that are strange like us and like me and you, and I know that you are going to let go of all that past anguish because this is the totality of this experience. All you need is the 9 of Cups and you've completed it, you know, and you will get the 9 of Cups. As soon as you complete that process of letting go of all that baggage that you've got on your shoulder, all those burdens, as soon as you realize that you are worth it, as soon as you realize that you need to move on and keep those that you need because you can't do without them beside you, and get rid of the riffraff that just keep drudging up past and pulling you down in the mud. That's all I can say. Even if you have to not let go of your children, still see them, but let go of the idea that just imagine you don't get them back like I didn't. What would you do? You can't kill yourself because they'll be devastated. And you know how devastated you were when someone did that to you. You're just going to have to suck it up and see them when you can see them. And that's what I've had to do. And I'm telling you, it's the most hardest experience I had. I'm letting go of my children as we speak. I forgot about my son for 2 days. I said I was going to call him the next day. I was having so much fun with you guys. I forgot about him. And it's the first time I forgot about my child. Seriously. But it was good for me because I needed that break from the responsibility of I failed as a mother. I haven't failed as a mother. The system failed me. You know that makes sense? They never listened to what I had to say.
They never really listened. They never opened their ears. They just listened to the stigma and the dogma of what society projects on everyone. Do you understand? But anyway, as I said, I think you're going for a cosmic journey there, girl. I'm going to consult Goliath and see what
Now, what do we
Goliath
got? 8 of
says.
Cups. I think the cups are at the front. Starting to know the book a bit better.
8 of Cups. The High Door. Walking away from past, a change in direction, not looking back, starting on a clean state, a new journey to embark on, leaving things behind, separate and breaking ties, focusing on personal growth and truth, finding out the facts of a situation, looking for higher answers, starting a new journey of discovery, turning onto a new path, devoting more time to the spiritual path of one's own higher self, starting a new trip. There's that holiday I mentioned. Pushing the limits of self, becoming free and disentangling from others' own paradigms. I don't know how to say that. You know, other people's dogma and issues and burdens they place on you, I think is what he's trying to say. I know what the word is, but I just cannot say it. There's some words I just cannot fucking say. And that means I've got an issue with that word. Realizing what really matters and what is more important to you. Given your children are important, but what about you, Tracey? How important are you to yourself? The only thing is, if you don't open the door and step up that path, you're going to be stuck. You're not going to be able to evaluate things clearly. You're going to be in tears a lot. You got to give yourself clarity by letting go of everything and literally forcing yourself not to think. Do you know I learned not to think? It got to the point that I don't think. I just hear people talking around me and there's no one around. And I can hear them as clearly as in the clock or in the music or even outside my bedroom window. And it got me really paranoid. I was thinking I was going crazy. But I learned to stop my thoughts because I knew I had to let go of everything and focus on myself. I never got the opportunity to because I never let go of my childhood home. It was a prison, not a sanctuary, but I never let it go. And with your help, I am letting it go. You know what I mean? And you're going to have to go through a journey like that yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be weighed down by others, getting caught in their problems. You're going to have relationship and habits that need, you know, that otherwise need to end and be left behind in the past. Move on from the timeline in your journey that has done its day. A blocking of being able to abandon things, unhealthy patterns. You know, this is all what is the downside of not listening to what my guidance. Now I'm telling you something you're not telling you have to do it. But as I said, with every reading, take what resonates with you and what doesn't resonate with you, just shove it away. Anyway, the next card. Sorry, I just need a sip of tea. That's another thing I want you to do. I want you to get a cup of tea and light a candle before you listen to this reading. I'll tell you that halfway through. I'll probably put a little sign, you know, get a tea, burn some incense, or, you know, burn a candle, whatever you got, before you listen to the reading. As I said, there's no negativity and all the cards are facing that way because I face them that way. 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Not only are you going on an individual journey again, but you got a higher power next to you. When I look at this, I see the Tree of Life. I see very Kabbalah, actually. You know that one, that religion that Madonna follows and that? I don't know much about it, but I do know about the Tree of Life. It's the only thing I took from it. There's you. Alright? You should be here by now at 40. I'm saying 40 roughly, right? Then as we move up towards death, we move up to cosmic enlightenment. And what you have to do is really meditate on what's around you that you can't see. This is again reflecting with this card over here. This is your higher consciousness calling to you and saying, it's the end. You're starting a new beginning. Because even though 10 is the end, it's also a new beginning. You've got support of the cosmic around you. You look at that card. It's so fucking beautiful and starlight. It's an oyster and you're the pearl inside that is coming out and embracing things. You are leaving behind all that ugliness and you're going to embrace it in a way that will enlighten you. And you got to take away all that shit. I mean, I always thought pearls are made from shit. Personally, I don't know the truth. Maybe I was right. But you got to take all that shit and make a pearl out of it. In other words, you've got to look past the financial difficulties because it's coming to an end. I'm telling you, it really is. I don't know how, but you're going to find something. You can't bury your head. You got to face it, girl. Whether you need that knight to help you to face it, or maybe you need a hand, that's okay. Everyone needs a hand to step up the first step. But you're going to charge through it and you're going to find all that financial burden is going to reap into a good thing. Because you have planted so many seeds that should bear very positive fruit for you, but you haven't had the chance to grab it or obtain it because of the people around you. And you will master this. You will master this financial hardship that you're going through. And you will conquer it in a way that not only is pearls coming out, but they're black pearls. They're the most purest, rarest pearls that you ever collected. And not only would you get that, the oyster itself is leaving. If you ever look in that card, there's even an imprint of a face, of a female face, saying that the mother, the mermaids are blessing you, the sea is blessing you, and sea is spirit. Like snakes, sea is spirit. That's why snakes love swimming in water. They just feel like they're back in their own skin. It's cool, it's warm, it's just delectable. And you have to do that yourself. You have to get back in your skin and pretend you're 24 with no obligations and charge. Get those fucking dreams, get those fucking ideas and create something of it. Because whatever you create from it is going to ease your financial burden. And I feel like it just, whatever that idea you always got in your head that you think, oh, that'd be a really good idea to do, but I'm not going to do it. I don't have time. Now I've lost my children. I've just been, I make the same excuses. They're not excuses. They've happened to you and it's traumatic. But you can't make excuses anymore for yourself. You've got to really look deep into yourself. Find out that creativity that you've got to express and end that financial hardship that you're going through. Because this is actually a blessing that you've completed that hardship cycle and you're going to get something very, very new into it. Another thing from past that I'm seeing is the Nine of Swords. Again, with the swords. Again. Alright? But it's completion. See, there's 8, 9, 10. You're basically walking up that step and completing everything that you've done in the past. So what's new for you? What can you do that's new? All those swords, all those burdens, they represent every single bad thing that happened to you. You've got 9 bad things that happened to you. Life happens in 9-year cycle. Whatever you were doing 9 years ago, look at your life now. What is the similar that you have not changed that's holding you back that you did 9 years ago? Really reflect on that and write about it in your journal. I'm being serious about the journal thing, by the way. I know it's tedious, but it does fucking help. And I know I've got to do the same thing, right? And I'm getting there. I'm a preacher, but, what they say, if you can't do it, teach. They become teachers or something. That's what my dad said. He's a sarcastic, fucking arrogant asshole, though. But anyway, I don't believe that because some people dedicate their life to schooling others. Look at that tidal wave that literally brought you to the sandy beach. Bloody exhausted from everything you've been through. Take that holiday, I suggest. I really think you should go on a holiday. I don't know who with. Not me. I can't do a holiday right now. I've got business to run. I really have to concentrate on my business. I wouldn't mind going on a 2-day trip or a 3-day trip or something like that. But I reckon you should go on a 2 or 3 week holiday. Not out of the country. I think you have to see Australia with brand new eyes. Just see Victoria with brand new eyes. Even if it's just day trips to like Sovereign Hill or Ballarat or wherever it is that you like going, the beach, or take a holiday from your life, because
that next tidal wave could either sweep you further along the beach so you can walk up your path and plant all your eggs and get all harvest all that good stuff, or it's going to sweep you back in there and drown you. And it's up to you whether you let those 9 people that burden you again. It really is. When I get towards the end of the reading, as you can see, I'm sort of wrapping it up. It's because I think I've imparted too much. And there's your answer. This is the 4th time I got this card today. I'm not kidding you. It is the 4th time. And I kept getting yes with everything question I had. I know what the question yes is for me. And I know the question yes is for you. It was at the start of the reading with the pendulum. And it's saying it here. Yes, you've made the right decision to fuck him off. But he's not the only one you have to fuck off. I'm not kidding you. There's other people you got to fuck off that are in your life that are not important enough to waste your time and energy on. And you've got to decide who that is, because I don't know anyone that well. But you do. I got my instincts who they are. But you have to have a break. You don't have to fuck them off totally. You can still see them once in a blue moon, like once every 2 or 3 weeks. It's like me with Rosie. That 14-year friendship is not worth anything to me now. It used to be. I used to panic if I didn't see her because I would be worried about her mental state and what she'd be thinking of me and what she would say next. And like, I used to panic that I wouldn't have any friends. But look at me now. I'm meeting new people. I'm gathering new friends. I proved that to myself when I met all those derelicts and managed to get a hard-nosed, street kids to actually like me and invite me back to their home because they think I'm so nice. That reassured me that there's people, even in the most gutturous way, found me nice, which is definitely not what people were saying around me, like Rosie, my parents, and everyone else. And John's a bit the same, and so are those, 9 burdens you got. Those 9 stabs in the back. Do you really want to keep going through that cycle so that in another 9 years you're looking at the same cards, because I'm going to have the same deck unless he makes another one? And saying, oh, wow, I had this 9 years ago. I remember now. Just flashed in my mind, because that's what memories do. And yes, you made the right decision to fuck John off, I feel. Not my personal opinion. I don't know enough about the situation. I know you were very in love. I know when you came back, you were glowing. But I think it was his family that made you glow, because you were so good for him. And I'm pretty sure one of them said to you, what the fuck are you doing with him? You're better than that. And you got to see that in yourself. So yes to everything I said. And yes to everything that you take into yourself. And let go of all the rest. But I just want to look at 10 of Pentacles real quickly. Right? 9 of Swords is self-explanatory. You were a drowned rat without realizing it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be... that's not meant to be insulting. It's just basically saying you were drowning in other people's shit and what they put on you. Right? Now you're not a drowned rat. Now you're something different. Now you're going to be something important. And the next time, you're so overwhelmed at the moment that you got to get rid of that, oh my God, what's next? Nothing's next. You're going to have good stuff. And the 10 of Pentacles is going to tell me that, right? Goliath? He says yes. I actually saw the word yes written. I'm getting really good at this shit. I'm joking. I knew I was mediocre before, and now I'm even better. Now I'm putting myself down so I don't sound arrogant. I can't decide between the two, that I'm arrogant or not arrogant. No, I love tarot reading. I love doing this stuff. If any of this is helping you, I'm glad. If none of it's helping you, chuck it away with the rest of the stuff, like I said, to chuck it away with. At least you're doing something, I said. But I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to guide and show you that there's light between the darkness. Look at that card. That 10 of Pentacles. If you just look at that and forget about the rest for the moment, you can see the light literally beaming onto those oyster pearls. That's like basically that oyster had 10 pearls of absolute beautifulness. It basically means you got a happy life. The world is your oyster. Values, security attained, gifts, wealth, prosperity, wild success, happily family life. You are blessed with material abundance. You are free of financial struggle, high financial reserve, sustainable future. Enjoy business success, seeing things flourish, creating healthy mental patterns
and having long-term goals. Can you say any of that's true right now? You got hardship, you've got no goals. I don't know if you got goals. You haven't talked to me about goals and dreams that you have. I've talked to you about my tarot dream, my reality show dream, and my business and all that sort of stuff. That's my goal at the moment. Now, if you don't listen to this, you're going to be faced with that same financial hardship you've got now. There's going to be disorganisation. There'll be lack around you. There'll be instability of funds. Not feeling secure. Disharmony in the house. That's where that wah comes into it. Poverty. Feeling separated from others. Barren. Excluded. Sad. Resentful. Struggling with a lack of scarcity mindset that is like a black dog that won't leave. Now, that was your life in past, and this is the thing that I said you have to get rid of. Literally, fuck it all off. Don't think about it again. In fact, not make up stories. Think of positive things. The next time we have a group of people around, especially the people that know you and have been there with you while you've been through that, don't let them bring it up. Literally. Say, no, I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about the sunflowers that I just planted in the backyard. I'm not saying you're going to plant sunflowers. I always love sunflowers. That's why it's always the first flower I mentioned. Just imagine the sunflowers or your patio done. Get that mojo back. It's time to start charging forward and taking your own destiny in your hands. Anyway, sweetie, these are your cards for the reading from Goliath and me. And yes, darling, you did the right thing today. I believe it strongly in my heart. Well, Tracey, I didn't want to do you tarot reading because I know how deep and intrusive I can get in people's lives. And that was a bit more than a general reading. That was me literally sucking my guts up and saying, I'm delving deep because I care for you so much that I want good things to happen to you. So please take what resonates with you and leave the rest alone. If you don't understand what I said or you don't get what I said, it might be clearer later on in the piece. And I just want to send you loads of blessings and lots of love and lots of bliss. Because as you can see, that fucking 10 of Pentacles is saying the hardship's nearly over. I reckon in 3 months' time, you're going to be able to look back and say, oh my God, Cindy, I can't believe the relief I feel because I took some of your advice. And that journal writing is really important for you to get that mental angle. And when I say I didn't want to do tarot reading, that was wrong too. The wrong words to use. I meant I didn't want to get too intrusive into your life, but I did. And I hope you didn't mind that I delved a bit deeper than a general reading, because I don't normally like to do more than a general reading when I do a first reading for someone. I suppose I've done a reading for you that was pretty general and pretty shit. But this is me putting my heart and soul in it, and I hope it helps. And I wish you nothing but the best. The world is your oyster, young lady. All you got to find is that creative outlet and let go of a lot of things and learn not to think about the past. You know the best way of doing it? Write it down once, burn it, or keep it to read later when you're ready to read it and you can laugh about it. If you can laugh about the bad things that happened to you and make a funny story out of it. Now, my lovey, I want you to take a big breath and say wah with me. Wah. And push all that pain in your heart to the back. You can't push it out the front because it's only going to rebound and hit you back in the fucking chest. You got to push it to the back of you. Imagine black ooze and meditate on it. That's another thing you could do. Start meditating. You know, listen to spiritual music or meaningful songs. Whatever tunes that makes you relax. Because I don't see you relaxed very often. And take care of yourself, girl. Because you got one friend in me and you got lots of beautiful people around you too. I didn't mean to be so negative about the people around you. It's just what I sensed and I felt like I had to say it. But you'll find the good between the shit. And you'll keep it. And you'll make it. And, yeah, in another month's time, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too confronting. And I don't care how many times you have to watch it. Watch it as many times as you want. It's up on YouTube for that reason. If you wanted to be put on private and only you have the link, just let me know and I'll put it on private. If not, if you don't mind, I use it as testimony towards my readings and an example towards my readings so that I can get my dream and goal happening. And I hope it did you well, and I hope you understood where I was coming from. Any questions you've got, save it for the next reading and write it down and just show it to me in a written way, and I'll attack those questions then. I think I've given you too much to think about anyway. Love you heaps. Bye. Be blessed.